go. Let's get it, baby. GMGP. It is Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026. I decided to pull up, me and my dog, Jay Rich, NFL Draft Weekend. Let's go. We go live tomorrow. Round one of the 2026 NFL Draft is finally here. I appreciate everybody in the building. We got mock drafts that we're going to look at. We've got news, notes, rumors, and more importantly, y'all good people in the chat. Cozy Jackson, Dro, Jason, Patrick, I see you in there. We just chopping it up. Like, I hope y'all took off work. I hope you got some time because we're finally here. The draft is here. Excited as hell. I think we got the streaming stuff figured out. Yesterday it was a little rocky. But I appreciate those of y'all that tapped in with Jay and I yesterday. And we got about 90 minutes to talk through everything that's going on, all the last minute notes, rumors, news. So if you like the stream, if you have a good time with us, if you rock with us throughout this channel, DDFFB, Wake Up with Ray and Jay, hit the thumbs up button, like the stream, subscribe to the channel, check out the content on all three different channels, and more importantly, pull the hell up with us tomorrow. Now, tonight I will be joining my dog, another brother from a different mother, and I promise you my pops wasn't doing it like that, but my boy Adam from the South Harmon community, he and I will be going live on their channel tonight for an AMA right before the draft. Shout out to my dog Adam, shout out to everything that they're doing. But where's my boy at? Jay Rich, where you at, big dog? How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm excited, right? I've been waiting for draft to come. We were waiting for these final mocks to come.
Yeah.
So it should be good, man. That last little bit of information is why you gotta wait. You just gotta be patient because late news always breaks. We're still trying to figure out who it's gonna be at number 2. But hopefully we can get through that last little bit of news. And for anyone who missed the show yesterday, we talked about, I believe, the top 20, 21 teams.
Yeah, 21. We're going to pick that back up.
In terms of what we expect for them. We may go through the last few teams here at the back of the first round, but definitely going to get through some of these mock drafts because that is what it's all about. What's going to happen, how it's going to happen, and most importantly, Ray, how many trades are we going to see? Because even today, it sounds like the news is still fast and furious about how many teams could be trading up and how those teams may be manufacturing and maneuvering their way up the draft board throughout the day.
Let me just ask you, because I've got to put together my final mock draft board for the Huddle Report today. Like, if you were doing this, are you just picking 1 through 32, or are you really trying to project trades? Like, I feel like I'm just throwing shit at a wall, hoping something sticks, trying to project trades and do the mock. What do you think is the best approach to a final mock?
So, as it stands right now, I don't plan on projecting more than one trade. We obviously have our own mock draft challenge. I think there's more value in trying to figure out which teams are going to pick which players than trying to, because once you do 2, especially 3 trades, the whole board is ruined. Like, there's no way, if you don't project those trades correctly, then all of a sudden it's going to throw other things off, right? Because the moment you make one trade, it's going to cascade another trade down the line that makes sense. But if that first trade doesn't happen, all of a sudden you're just up shit's creek without a paddle. So for me, I try to stand pat, figure out who are these players targeting, and if it really makes sense, maybe throw a trade or 2 in there. But when you start getting up to the 4, 5, 6 trades that, have been projected for this draft, things are going to get a little bit messy. So I would try and keep it pretty standard if you can. Identify players that fit certain teams and hope they end up staying pat, because I think the moment you make too many trades, things kind of go awry. I see you've pulled up Peter Schrager's mock draft.
Yeah.
Excited to review this with you. Haven't looked at it yet. So
you haven't looked at it? Okay, good.
I didn't look at it because I said we're going to do it on this show, so I wanted to get into it. We can probably skip straight to pick number 2 because number 1 is going to be Mendoza.
We'll give the Raiders some love, man. We'll give the Raiders a little bit of love. I'm actually gonna move us around, Jay. I'm gonna go on this side. I'm gonna keep you on that side. We'll make us a little bit bigger for the people in the building. But no, we gotta show the Raiders some love, man. We'll show the Raiders a little bit of love. Let me make you a little bit bigger so that people can see that Jay Rich today on this beautiful, fine, rainy Wednesday in Dallas, Texas, man. I see y'all got a bunch of crazy stuff going on in Toronto with big ice sculptures of Drake, but that's another show.
May 15th, topic. Baby. Let's go. Get ready, Ray.
Another show topic.
Get ready.
Y'all got bigger issues. The Raptors Toronto's got bigger issues than the ice sculptures in the middle of the city. But let's go through Peter Schrager's mock, one of the most respected draft analysts. And I really like these draft analysts that don't pump out 25 different mocks over the course of a cycle, right? You get a couple from Schrager. I have not looked at it. You have not looked at it. We're going to look at this together. Patrick said he was just checking it out before the show went live, but let's go into it, Jay. We spent a lot of time trying to get the damn stream going yesterday. I want to talk all ball today. I love it. I love it. Raiders going Fernando Mendoza at 1. Yes, we could skip it, but more importantly, I want to see what they do in round 2, right? I want to see what they do in round 2. At pick 2, Jay Rich, we got the Jets going David Bailey. You have been strong advocate of this player, this team, the fit. That's who you would take at number 2, and it looks like the Jets. That's how I'm going to mock it. I think it will be David Bailey. Maybe he doesn't have the craziest high upside in the class, and I'm not going to go this far with the comparison, but I'm old enough to remember there was an edge rusher, defensive end, coming out of Troy years ago. Almost 20 years ago, Jay Rich, 15 years ago. Remember who it was? Out of Troy, little old Troy. Ended up being one of the best,
absolutely not.
One of the best edge defenders of his generation. That was DeMarcus Ware when he was coming out of Troy a long time ago. And I'm not saying that David Bailey is the Ware, but there's some, like he's got some, he kind of reminds me of what Ware looked like coming out of Troy. We'll see how it develops and how he ultimately ends up panning out in the NFL. But I would absolutely take David Bailey as high as number 2. A lot of people think the draft starts right here, though, at pick 3. All right, everybody thinks the draft starts here at pick 3. First bombshell of the draft. First bombshell. Jeremiah Love to the Cardinals. Listen, back in January, I'm like, if they're just going to go BPA, why the hell not? Why not? Why not take Jeremiah Love here? I know a lot of people be like, Ray, well, you were the one who were saying last year you were a big advocate of the Raiders not taking Ashton Genty. They were not an Ashton Genty away, and now you turn right back around and become hypocritical in the next draft class talking about Arizona needs a running back. I don't care this year, Jay. This year I feel like I don't care.
I mean, it's true, though. This is the same conversation we have, whether we're talking Titans, whether we're talking Cardinals, right? When it comes to Jeremiah Love, like neither of these teams are a Jeremiah Love away. Now, in the case of the Cardinals, we know that their GM is definitely trying to save his job. I'm sure that Mike LaFleur would have no problem implementing Jeremiah Love into his offense, but I mean, they still have no quarterback, so they're going to be in kind of the same situation as the Raiders going into next season. But I think the other side of it is maybe they're okay with that because they're planning on, retooling the roster, and they can get that quarterback of the future next year with what will probably be another very high draft pick. So I think if that was the plan, it's okay, but at the same time, do I think it makes a lot of sense? No, because even when you get that quarterback, then are you ready to go? Or is the answer still, well, we don't know how good our quarterback is? And I think that's the difference between what you have in Tennessee and what you have in Arizona. If Arizona takes Love and then they take their quarterback, we don't know if their quarterback is going to be the guy. Tennessee's already taken Cam Ward, so they're telling us he's either going to be the guy or we're going to do everything we can to make him the guy. And I think that's where Love going to Tennessee makes a little bit more sense. But I think this is the pick that you get if they don't trade
Let me just share with you some things that I've heard throughout my time in the spaces that I've been. This draft process is there are a lot of emotional things that happen. So I totally agree with everybody. The number one thing that I would do if I were Arizona would try to trade back. It feels like 3 is a spot where a lot of teams could come up to get their guy. I want Reese. I want Jeremiah Love. The Giants are taking Sonny Styles. I want to get him. I'm trading up. It would behoove them to move back. But here's the thing, though, Jay. It would, but I just think that in a class that is devoid of that high-end, I feel like it's elite, gotta have it for sure, locked and loaded talent. If Arizona has to make this pick, man, I've been on the record of saying I don't know if it's just Francis Malinois right here. If you want to say it's Arvell Reese or Bailey if it falls, do they just say, we're just going to take the best player in the draft, in our opinion, and we'll build around him? I don't know if it's as big of an indictment against Tyler Algier as maybe it is James Conner. This is a player who James Conner's been awesome. Yeah. James Conner's a phenomenal running back, but at this stage of his career, the injuries, the things that have had, at some point, there has to be a succession plan for him. So, Morstein, I feel you, right? Fire that GM. Arizona would be off. RIP Tyler Algier. The reality is Tyler Algier is what he is. He is what he is. I don't think anything is going to change that. He is what he is. A good complimentary spell back that can operate as a number one if you need him to. But I'm not letting an Algier stop me from just taking, at this point, I can't get Mendoza, right? We can't draft Mendoza.
Do you even want Mendoza, right?
D-line last year. We're just taking the best guy in Jeremiah Love. And inside that room, what do you think Arizona's thinking when their phone is ringing off the hook for that number 3 pick? At some point, they're probably like, man, maybe we should just take the player. We don't even want to trade. Maybe we should just take Jeremiah Love. Let's see what that leaves Tennessee in doing, because that's the big thing. Jeremiah Love mocked to Tennessee, and then look at what we got here.
Okay.
Peter Schrager's got Sonny Styles, linebacker out of Ohio State, going to Tennessee at 4.
This is the, I guess, timeline, if you want to call it that. This is the scenario in the draft that I can't quite wrap my head around, right? Because Sonny Styles apparently wasn't going to the Giants, basically as of yesterday, the day before. Now, all of a sudden, Bucky Riesling, great reporter, reports on Tennessee, is saying, is Sonny Styles the Fred Warner of the Titans for Robert Saleh? Was the comp that he was making on X this morning once they saw this come out. And it's like, and Schrager actually said that as well. But I saw it from Riesling who put it out. It's like, well, you know, if it works out that way, great. But what are the chances of that actually happening is the other conversation. Styles at 4 sounds crazy. Again, not a premium position, just a linebacker. How are they going to utilize him? All these various things and conversations that are had when it comes to these values. And this is the problem with this draft, is that the best players are in non-premium positions.
Yes.
And it's just figuring out, do you take the non-premium position player who is in theory the closest to elite talent, or do you take the premium position player in Arvell Reese, who you see here is 5 to the Giants, over a Sonny Styles? I don't hate the call. I like Styles a lot. I think he's a great fit. It's just unfortunate that in a draft like this, you have to take him at 5, because we've seen other drafts. Kyle Hamilton is the example I use over and over. He was drafted at like 14 overall, and he was an elite high-end safety, but you didn't have to take him in the Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles range that you do in this draft class. So we'll see how it plays out. Ray, how do you feel about Sonny Styles at 4 and then Arvell Reese falling to 5?
I think people really, before we get into tomorrow night, what I would urge people to be open-minded to is this is not a typical draft. This is not a typical draft where you look at that positional value and you say, he's never taken a linebacker before round 3. They're not going to take one at 4. If you truly feel like the high-end talent is 6 or 7 deep, 5 or 4 deep, 10 deep, I don't care. Like, I'm just taking the guy. Jeremiah Love's off the board. Who else is Tennessee going to take? Who else are they going to take? Arvell Reese right there? So
that's the biggest
Caleb
question,
Downs?
right? It's
like, who
Reese,
else do they take?
Yeah, like
Francis Mawanoa? This is just this overall talent, and I'm not trying to be this guy. If we fast forward to next year, I think the only position in this class off the rip, Jay, quarterback, O-line, running back, D-line, Colin Simmons would be number 1 overall in this draft if he were here, or number 2. He'd be the top-rated defensive player in this draft, edge rusher out of Texas. Gooseby or Jordan Seaton potentially would be O-tackle 1 in this class. You're talking about Jeremiah Smith. He might be number 1 in the class, right? Outside of Jeremiah Love, I don't know if Ahmad Hardy or Keywan Lacey are better, but down the board, man, Leonard Moore, cornerback out of Notre Dame, would project to be top 10 in the class. Go get your guy this year, knowing that the population and pool of prospects that you have coming down the pipe next year is just better. I don't give a shit about the positional value at this point. If Styles is 1 on the board, take him at 4. If Downs is top 3 on your board, take him at 5. Go get your guy, because playing you don't really do a linebacker here, we can't really take a running back there, is going to leave you with somebody where you're like, I should have just taken him. You look up and Jeremiah Love's running for 1,400 yards. You're like, I mean, Malino is cool, but we probably should have just taken Jeremiah Love right there. So I'm fine with it. Reese to the Giants.
I honestly, I can't make any sense of it. You don't need an edge rusher if you're the Giants.
I would assume that if this were to happen, he'd be playing linebacker. And I don't know if you saw the clip of of Harbaugh at the Ohio State Pro Day, but him and who was the coach with the pencil in his ear? Patriots. He's at Ohio State now. What's his name?
Defensive the defense coordinator, Patricia.
Not McAdoo. What's his name?
Is it Patricia?
Not Ryan Day. Patricia. Matt Patricia. Him and Harbaugh were standing there talking with Arvell Reese, and Harbaugh's got this biggest smile on his face talking with Reese right there. So maybe Schrager's kind of pairing up some of the video footage from the Ohio State Pro Day to the player. And if they were in on Styles and Styles is off the board, I could definitely see them going Arvell Reese here. At 6, Jay Rich, you get your wish. You get your wish. I was wrong. You were right. I was wrong. You were right. Cleveland Browns go Spencer Fano at tackle at 6. They do not take Carnell Tate. They go Spencer Fano. And I don't know if Jay Rich, you said Patricia. I didn't hear you, man. You said Patricia?
Clearly, I said it like 3 times. I'm
my
like,
bad.
Am I on mute? I'm checking all my stuff. I'm like, am I muted somewhere?
My bad. I was in deep thought. That's. I said you were. Well, you at least I gave you some. You were right here. My bad. I wasn't tuning them out. Y'all stop it. I see y'all in the
double
chat.
up
Stop
on that.
Stop it. But Cleveland goes tackle. I say, and I still think they're going to take Tate. Peter Schrager saying they're going tackle right here. Jay, I'm gonna let you pop off about this one.
I mean, this is just what I think makes more sense for Cleveland. Doesn't mean that that's how I would mock it. Doesn't mean that it's even going to be the right decision. Again, is Fano the tackle that you take at 6 as tackle 1? We've seen Malinois as kind of the main, going to be the first tackle off the board by a lot of people. So this is a bit of a, I'm not going to say shock, but a bit of a surprise to some extent. I think I'm curious how this plays out, and I'm curious to see what your thoughts are on this Browns mock, because we're going to get a pick probably at 24. Likely to be a wide receiver. I'd probably bet it was KC there, but we'll see down the board. But no, it's fine. It's a good pick. They need a tackle, and I'm curious to see how it plays out. Not going to victory lap too hard. It's just the way that I would draft if I was Andrew Berry.
I'll tell you this, as a Cowboys fan, I would like it. More tackles, the better.
Sure?
More tackles, the better. Let's see. Let's keep pushing down the board. At 7, Jay Rich, the Washington Commanders, they go Carnell Tate. I mean, if I'm going to be wrong, what a hell of a spot for him to land in. Terry McLaurin's likely gone after this season. At least they have with them having to pay Jaden Daniels $200 million, Terry McLaurin probably, I think that'd be his next season, will be his age 31 season at receiver. They've already given him money. They didn't get a lot out of him last year because of the injury. They go Carnell Tate at 7. How good of a pairing would Tate and Jaden Daniels be?
Would be great. Right. We talked about it last show, how they, I think, third highest rate of throwing to outside wide receivers. So having him and McLaurin for kind of that first year is great. You know, even if it is, a money issue for McLaurin, Daniels isn't being paid for another 2 seasons at least at that premium rate. He's got 1 more year plus 5th-year option. I think even plus another year potentially as well. So he's got lots of time before that money's ever going to actually hit the account for the Commanders. But Tate here, if he falls to 7, I'd say it's just about running that pick in if you're Dan Quinn. Sonny Styles off the board. We know he's a great fit, but it seems like if Tate is available for Washington, he will be the selection. Tate over
Downs, huh? You think Tate over Caleb Downs right here?
It does seem Washington's trending that direction, yeah.
Okay. Well, Caleb Downs goes to New Orleans at 8.
Which is, you don't see that as often.
You don't see that.
But I like it a lot because, I mean, if they have him back there for the secondary, that's going to make up for a lot of the mistakes that they have at the cornerback spot. And I think one thing the Saints have actually done a really good job with is, yes, they've drafted high-end corners well in the past, but they've also done a good job kind of backfilling that DB room with players who can play. And that's why you see a lot of teams have been signing their corners and then they keep having to replenish, not quite to the level of the Chiefs, because the Chiefs have had some very high-end corners, but the Saints have had a lot of corners poached over the years. And I think having a premier safety back there that they're paying instead of paying a high-end corner could actually be a great compromise to help just clean up some of the mistakes that you may see from some of those lower drafted corners that are going to make some of those mistakes.
Yeah, I see people in the chat, Tate to Washington. We got rocket ship emojis. Kevin says Washington was in on all the wide receivers in free agency and missed. Okay? I would love for a Commanders fan who, I know it ain't Kevin. I think Kevin is a Chargers fan. Commanders fans, let me know what y'all think about Carnell Tate at 7 over Caleb Downs. Saints fans, Patrick is in the building. Jay Rich is the resident Saints truther. Caleb Downs over a wide receiver as well. There's a comment right here. Saints definitely going wide receiver here. They're not taking Caleb Downs, which again, it would be good for Dallas. I would love that. I am a Cowboys fan, unfortunately. Love the squad, and we are actually going to talk about the Cowboys right here, Jay Rich, because we've got a trade.
Really?
The Dallas Cowboys have traded up to 9 to take. Who do you think?
I mean, it can't be a receiver. Styles off the board, Downs off the board. Is it for Ruben Bain?
You, sir, are wrong. Incorrect.
Okay.
The Dallas Cowboys move up. They trade their 12 and 20 for Kansas City's 9 and 29 to take Mansour Delane, cornerback out of LSU.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
I'm almost positive the last time they traded up to take a corner, it was an LSU corner, and it was Mo Claiborne. Believe it was 6th overall. It wasn't 2011, but I think it was around the time I was in high school, in college, law school. I think it was Mo Claiborne in 2010 or 2011. When was Claiborne?
I mean, I can look it up.
Oh, no, you don't have to look at it. Somebody in the chat to tell me. I'm fine with it. They need defensive back help. I would have rather it been Caleb Downs.
6th overall in 2012.
Yeah, 2012, 6th overall. It didn't work out too great. He was okay for a little bit, but last time Dallas took a corner that high that was good was Terrence Newman, and they took him out of K-State like 5th overall back in like 2004, and Terrence Newman was very good. Let's move on to number 10, the Giants. Jay, whoo, they go your boy, Jordan Tyson, and the more I think about it, who's the Giants wide receiver core right now? Neighbors is hurt. Let's just assume he starts off on pup or slow.
I think it was they brought in what's his name?
Mooney.
God, he was on the Falcons last. Mooney. Yeah. Mooney's their top body, I'd say. And then wasn't it Calvin Austin was the other one they got?
Oh, yeah.
You don't got to do that to Mooney. Mooney was actually pretty good when he was healthy.
I've been hanging on to that 1,000-yard Mooney season from the Bears for about 5 years now. I've been holding on.
Don't hate on Darnell Mooney. He's all right, man. He's not the best receiver. He's a good compliment, a 2 or a 3 in most offenses, no doubt. But you bring in Jordan Tyson, you got Malik Neighbors, and then you got Darnell Mooney as the third when everyone's healthy. Pretty good options for Jackson Dart.
I agree with Gamer right here. If Delane is available at 9, he's probably you got one team that might take him between 9 and 12, which is Miami. And I would just roll the dice.
I disagree. I think both the Giants and Miami would take Delane.
I don't think the Giants would take Delane.
Because if we know that they don't necessarily want Styles, but let's say Styles is gone and Downs is gone, I think Delane could be their consolation, and that's why the Cowboys had to go up to the Chiefs. You talking about the
Giants? The Giants?
Yeah.
I think it's receiver, dude. I don't.
It could be for sure.
Dart, year 2, you can't go into the season with the receiving core of Calvin Austin, Darnell Mooney, Jalen Hyatt, Isaiah Hodgins.
But you got to remember who the coach is, though. Is this coach going to say, "Oh, we need more receivers"?
Who's the OC? Who's the OC?
Isn't it Greg Roman?
It's Greg effing Roman, man.
So that's what I'm saying. So why are you saying they need more receivers? Harbaugh, for years, how many years in a row have you said, Lamar needs more help, Lamar needs more help, Lamar needs more help? Does it ever come?
Well,
no.
Do people learn from mistakes? Can he not learn from his past transgressions? Look where that got him. Exits.
But you also say a leopard never changes his spots either.
I have said that before. Well played.
So
well played.
It goes both ways.
It does.
But Tyson in New York is a good fit.
I like Tyson in New York. And no, they says Matt Nagy's the OC.
Oh, even better. Matt Nagy. There we go. Now we're cooking.
11, the Miami Dolphins go Francis Manoa. So the
great pick.
Rumors about the herniated disc. Maybe there's something there. I'm with the comment right here. I don't hate it for Dart. Tyson and Neighbors, you need 2 wide receivers, especially with Neighbors hurt. I agree. I think that one, Tyson, especially with that second first rounder, they can take their best available defensive player at 5, Downs, Reese, Bailey, Sonny Styles, whomever it is, Jay. And then you go with the wide receiver here at 10. I really do like this. I do like this.
But wouldn't you be disappointed if you were a Giants fan and you walked away with Arvell Reese and Jordan Tyson?
How would you be disappointed?
Because Reese isn't a player they desperately need.
He's going to play linebacker. They need a linebacker desperately.
But wouldn't you rather have Downs than Reese for that defense and for the personnel that they have on the team? I think Downs makes a lot more sense. It may be a bit more of a reach, but I think stylistically it makes way more sense to take Downs.
Did you go look at their linebacking core, and then tell me they wouldn't need Arvell Reese at linebacker? Let's go to 12. This was the trade. I mean, I just don't know why Dallas would do this. I just do not know why they would do this.
So then Casey must be taking Bain here.
Ruben Bain.
Because he's still available.
I mean, come on. What are we doing?
Trading down, moving up 9 spots, and still getting the guy you were going to take anyways.
Still getting Ruben Bain. How happy would Chiefs fans be on draft night if it played out like this?
Because then you think about at 20, they're definitely in that secondary tackle range.
Oh, once
Freeling goes to Detroit,
they might be in receiver range at 20.
Oh, absolutely.
They might be.
Cooper's the only receiver that wouldn't be available. Cooper may be gone. We'll see the mock.
Let's keep going. We have at this point, Bain's off the board, Tyson's off the board, and Jay Rich, you know what we have? We have a trade, my friend. We have a trade in Schrager's mock.
Who's trading up?
The Rams are moving out of the 13th spot. The Detroit Lions are moving up to 13. The Rams are falling back. Lions are moving up, and they take offensive lineman out of Alabama, Caden Proctor, at 13.
So they're not staying pat at 17. They're moving up to get a slightly better tackle potentially for their team. And Proctor was also a right tackle, wasn't he?
He was all over the place. Left tackle.
So he can play all over only because we talked about Sewell switching over,
a lot of people think he's going to be a guard, but tackle.
Okay.
Yeah.
But again, you're moving up. If you think that Proctor or they think Proctor is better than Freeling or whoever they would have got at 17, it's a fine trade up. And I mean, the Rams here getting back a 27 second is great for them. Stockpile that war chest for 27 and continue to get more picks. That's a pretty good deal.
I think that'd be a smash for the Rams. I think that'd be a smash for the Rams. Baltimore, I'll give you a million guesses, and you only get one. Who does Baltimore take?
It's got to be Ione,
right?
Like,
it's Ione right there, the guard out of Penn State. Pretty common player, pretty common pick. If you would guess for Tampa Bay, defensive side of the ball, where are they going?
Defensive. Is it Mesidor?
It's Akeem Mesidor. Tampa Bay Buccaneers go Akeem Mesidor at 15. Now the Jets are up at 16, Jay. I'm going to give you a guess. What do the Jets do?
I think Schrager's...
Offensive side of the ball.
It is offense. Then I got to guess Cooper. I'd imagine that Schrager wouldn't go Cooper, but if he does, then
right position, wrong player. The Jets take Mekhi Lemon out of USC
I guess
at 16.
Lemon's available. True, that makes sense.
All right, at 17, this one, another bomb drop pick at 17. The Rams are on the clock. They move back from 13 to 17 to go offense. Jay Rich, the Rams are going offense.
Kenyon Sadiq.
Kenyon Sadiq is the pick of the LA Rams. Talk about it.
I've seen it and I hate it, man. Like, I absolutely hate it. Again, he'd be fine. They run a lot of 2, even 3 tight end sets. We've seen them used a lot, but the reality is they don't see a ton of volume in the offense. That volume goes to receivers, goes to the running backs. But I guess if they did take him at 17, they would have a plan. So with Mekhi Lemon off the board, it does seem like Kenyon Sadiq is their consolation prize should that happen. We've heard that they like Sadiq a lot. They prefer Lemon, but Sadiq would be kind of their secondary option if this were to play out, they trade back and they weren't able to get Lemon.
Let me read the write-up for people out here because people do not like it. There's a lot of Sadiq intrigue in the Rams building. They already have multiple contributing tight ends, but that depth chart could look different in a year, especially since current tight end 1, Colby Parkinson, is a free agent in 2027. Sadiq is an explosive pass catcher who can help Matthew Stafford in a key go-for-it year in L.A. And you know Coach Sean McVay would figure out ways to get the ball in Sadiq's hands. This would be the second year in a row the Rams took an Oregon tight end after going with Terrence Ferguson in round 2 last April.
Yeah, and that's the interesting part is we know they took Ferguson in the second round, so they definitely got him on the roster. And then you got Sadiq coming in as well. So, I mean, I guess the good side is they've played together before. They know how to work in tandem a little bit. But outside of that, I'm not really sure how it makes a ton of sense for the Rams.
All right, Minnesota, you get one guess to save your life. One guess for the Vikings.
Dylan Thieneman.
Dylan Thieneman.
Let's go.
Which means he will not be a Viking. He will just not be a Viking. We've got another trade, Jay Rich. We've got a trade at 19. The Panthers are getting the hell out of Dodge. They are moving back. The Houston Texans are jumping up. Houston is moving up, Jay.
This is an O-line pick. I'm going to go with Monroe Freeling here at 19.
You have the correct position. You have the correct spot, but the wrong player. They go Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson at 19. Houston goes Blake Miller at 19. This is a player that I've mocked to Houston in prior mocks, and I've had Blake Miller going there at 28 or wherever they pick at, 28, 29.
Yeah, a little bit later.
Falling a little bit later, but in this case, Houston says we want to go get our guy. We're not going to wait for him. They hit a home run. I won't say a home run, but Ariante Ursary out of Minnesota last year developed into a quality tackle. So now you figure out the other side to help C.J. Stroud out. So Blake Miller out of Clemson going to Houston to help C.J. Stroud and that offensive side of the ball out. You got David Montgomery in the building, Nico Collins in the building, Woody Marks back there, improving the offensive line. At 20, the Dallas Cowboys are not on the clock because they traded it with the Kansas City Chiefs. And oh boy, Jay Rich, you ready for this one?
Is this that KC pick?
Kansas City.
Or I guess Cooper's still available too.
They go wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr.
Okay, yeah,
out
Cooper's
of Indiana.
Available.
Omar Cooper goes to the Chiefs.
I mean, succession plan for Rashee Rice, right? That's again,
gonna pay Rice?
Fantasy people probably wouldn't like it, but if you're
Rice's,
the Chiefs,
Rice contract year is coming up, right? I think he's due a deal after this season.
I would say Cooper is probably a pretty solid succession plan for Rashee Rice. They operate similar areas of the field. Cooper excels in that short area quickness type of role. Kansas City could have a need beyond this season. They could probably find ways to use him this season as well. I don't hate it, honestly. I mean, I like it a lot better than the Jets for Cooper. I'll say that. But yeah, it may be a bit of a year one red shirt, but that's pretty typical for receivers in Kansas City, almost regardless of their draft capital. Really, Worthy was the only one who wasn't, and it was really just that back and stretch playoff run where he really, really got going.
I don't disagree with you. I'll just say Kansas City's track record on wide receivers has not been great in the past. Like Rashee Rice, good. Sky Moore was an absolute flop. They got nothing out of Jalen Royals. I think he was like a third-round pick last year. It is a redundant skill set today. You know, Worthy, the jury is really, I think, Worthy feels like he's going to be just a smaller version of QJ. Like he might be okay, like decent, like 700-800 yards. If you can get 700-800 yards and some TDs, stretch the field, open the offense up for the underneath stuff, I think that's probably where Worthy's skill set is best going to be. Another inside receiver. We'll see how it plays out. Pittsburgh, they go back to the Georgia well at running back, at tackle. They got Broderick Jones a few years ago out of Georgia, and they go right back, and they take Monroe Freeling at 21 to help protect Aaron Rodgers when he inevitably says he's going to come back and play football. The Los Angeles Chargers take a Dallas Cowboys staple in mock drafts. They go Keldrick Falk, edge rusher out of Auburn. Kevin, let me know how you feel about that one. Keldrick Falk to the Chargers at 22. I think it's a good spot for him. Like, being honest.
I thought you were going to say Jermon McCoy there because he's injured.
No, Keldrick Falk. Keldrick Falk is the...
I don't hate it, though. That's a good pick.
Yeah. All right, Philadelphia. Love this pick for the Eagles. Absolutely love Max Ahanachor going to Philadelphia at 23.
Tackle.
With rumors and speculation swirling around Lane Johnson. There was another tackle or another one of the offensive linemen that were, contemplating maybe not coming back. And then Jordan Mailata was kind of, last year. So this is a really good pick. Now, to finish off your prophecy of Cleveland going tackle first, then wide receiver second, the Cleveland Browns do take a wide receiver right here, and they go Denzel Boston out of Washington.
I kind of like taking Boston over KC only because he can be that outside threat for them, and they can build outside in a little bit. So I don't hate it. I mean, we've struggled to find the perfect spot for Boston, but this could definitely be it. If they do go tackle early up top at 6 and then come back with wide receiver at 24, this is probably a really good, solid pick. Like even Schrager wrote it up. It could be Concepcion. He's still on the board. I kind of like Boston's fit a little bit better, and you go from there. But again, Ray, what are your thoughts on Fanoan at 6 and Boston at 24 versus Tate, and who would be available at tackle
It would
here
be
at 24?
Tate, and you're looking at Caleb Lomo. That'd be the other
Probably,
tackle.
right? Yeah.
No, Proctor's gone. Proctor's off the board.
Yeah, Proctor's gone.
Ahanachore's Freeling.
gone. Freeling's gone.
Blake Miller's off the board.
Even
It's
Blake
Caleb
Miller's
Lomo.
gone.
That's it. It's Lomo. Deshaun Watson looked good throwing the ball on against the Brown Jets.
Ray.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not here to talk morality here.
Right?
I'm just
those Deshaun Watson bags I've been holding for 5 years. They're getting
been
a little
holding
lighter.
Since 2022.
Getting a little lighter.
Yeah,
a little lighter.
Had a little zip on his passes. Jay looked a little different than Dylan Gabriel and your boy Shador Sanders.
Yeah, a little bit.
I like the fit.
Yeah.
I think they need. You can't count on Cedric Tillman to stay healthy. Maybe this will allow Jerry Jeudy to move around a little bit more, play that Z, play in the slot.
Can he be that Rashad Bateman role? Right? I mean, we don't love the Bateman role because the volume is not that great, but I think early in his career, Boston could slot into that role right away. I don't think anybody listening to this
stream wants to hear the Bateman role. And
I'm just saying for a rookie, he's a rookie. He can start outside in that Bateman role, right? Let Jeudy come inside, right?
All right, the Bears have a pick. I honestly have not seen this player mocked in round 1 in quite some time. The Bears go to Clemson, and they take T.J. Parker, edge rusher, out of Clemson.
Wow. What do you think that Peter knows? Because especially ahead of Woods, which you rarely see, right? You rarely see Parker ahead of Woods. Terrell seems like he's going to be a second rounder at this point, at least based off what I've seen recently. Parker as the first Clemson defensive player off the board, that seems shocking. I still think Woods even a better fit for the Bears because he's a DT. But I don't know.
They said they need someone to create pressure opposite Montez Sweat. They did get Grady Jarrett last year. I'm with Morristein. I like the Boston to Cleveland a lot. This Bears pick, you keep talking about Peter Woods. He comes off the board at 26 to Buffalo. So you get back-to-back Clemson defensive players.
Him with Ed Oliver, we're in business, right?
I think it's nice for Buffalo. I'm still in on Woods. Clemson was those people didn't watch Clemson was a dumpster fire all the way around this year. All from top to bottom, from week 1 versus LSU to the last game when Dabo Swinney's out there crying about recruits and NIL and all this other shit. Clemson was an absolute disaster. Think
all
about
their first rounders, the stock just tanked all year long.
Cade Klubnik, QB1. Antonio Williams, wide receiver 1. Peter Woods, DT1. Peter Parker, I was going to call him Peter Parker. TJ Parker, them edge 2-3 in the class. Avion Terrell top, and now none of them are in the top spots. Not one of them. Just an absolute disaster from Clemson. And it's crazy. When you think, look how many Clemson
DT1, no?
What'd you say?
Woods, DT1, no?
I mean, shit, I mean, there it is. Peter Woods, DT1. All right, San Francisco at 27. 27, San Francisco goes
Caleb
the aforementioned Caleb Lomo. I like it. They didn't take
we've heard this is good pick. Yeah, we've heard they've liked Lomu quite a bit and would take him if he's available.
I like it. All right, Carolina is now on the clock at 28. This is the trade that they made with Houston. Where's Carolina going at 28?
I think this is probably KC, maybe Terrell, but I'd probably put my money on KC.
Carolina Panthers select KC Concepcion, wide receiver out of Texas A&M. So they go back-to-back years, first-round picks at the wide receiver position.
I like it a lot, man. I really do. I think, you look to what Canales does well, and especially in that offense, we've seen some really talented or really dynamic slots get a lot of production out of that spot. I think KC in that slot role in Dave Canales' offense would be great, right? Adding another weapon to pair with Tedero McMillan. I think both those guys complement each other very well. So I think it's a good fit for Bryce. Is he the guy? Right? We're going to find out, is Bryce the guy? But I think having Concepcion, having McMillan, having a solid running game, which it seems like regardless of who's back there, they always do. Offensive line is decent. We'll see how it is in 26, but adding Concepcion is a big add, and they'd probably be...
Excuse me.
Would you have them favored in the division?
Jason is correcting me because I said back-to-back years. Back-to-back-to-back years. 3 years in a row.
Leggett.
Because they took Xavier Leggett in round 1.
I forgot he was a first rounder. It was Coleman who was a second rounder, but Leggett and Pearsall. That was pre-Canales, though. That was pre-Canales.
That was pre-Dave.
Yeah. I think that was Canales' first pick.
I mean, this would absolutely nuke Xavier Leggett. I think Coker would still have I think he would still have a role. You know, downfield guy, he's a bigger player. You know, you can kind of do some stuff with him and McMillan. But this would be your slot guy. This would be your kick returner. Whatever dynasty dreams and hopes you had for Jimmy
Everything
Horn Jr.
that Jalen Coker did well.
are out. Yeah, this spells the end for Xavier Leggett. 29. First time I've seen this player mock to Dallas. First time I've seen it happen.
To Dallas?
Okay. First time.
I'm going to go, it's got to be edge, right?
Edge rusher.
Oh, man. Is it Malachi Lawrence?
Do you have the mock up? Stop bullshitting me, man.
No, I don't. I like Malachi Lawrence, though. I talked about it last draft.
Don't bullshit us, man. Malachi Lawrence, the pick to Dallas here at 29.
Yeah. Back end first rounder for sure. You don't like it, right? This is a really good pick, honestly. I didn't like the trade up because of who you ended up taking, but I like getting Lawrence here because he could have gone to a lot of teams in this range, and he didn't end up. Yeah, I really like the Lawrence pick. I think it's a great one considering where you're getting him. Because you could take him at 20, right? Or you could take Mesidor at 20, and I think a lot of people would rather have Lawrence than pay up and get Mesidor, who went 15.
What about Emmanuel
Bay
McNeil-Warren? What about EMW?
It's a fine pick there, I think. But Lawrence, you're getting the positional value if he hits, and you could still trade up for EMW, assuming he's still available in round 2, which he might be.
I'm with Kevin. 50-50. If it's going to be this 3-4 scheme, if you're saying he's going to play outside backer and just going to speed rush, okay.
But he runs a 4-4 though.
Yeah, you're not. That's kind of. But he's not good against he's not stout against the.
That'll be a problem.
I don't know.
He's strictly like a speed rusher.
It feels like a little more of a projection than I would like, but
yeah,
I'll say this. They traded up to get Mansour Delane. I'd rather stayed at 12 and 20 and taken whatever I got at 12 and then Keldrick Falk at 12. I don't know. I would have rather stayed at 12 and 20 opposed to trade up to get
Unless
Delane.
You get that Arvell Reese, you're gonna be upset with those edge rushers.
All right, somebody said Miami better draft Casey Concepcion earlier in the chat, but that's not going to happen because he's off the board. The Dolphins take the player that I've said since day one I would not touch in round 1. They go Jermon McCoy out of Tennessee. And I'm not just saying this shit because everybody in the mainstream media wants to say it over the last 72 hours. I've been 10 toes down from the beginning of the draft cycle that I would not spend a first-round pick on Jermon McCoy. It's simply because of the injury. I'm not taking inside the top 15, Jay, inside the top 20, personally inside the top 32. If you want to take him at the back of the first, fine. I'm damn sure not doing a top 20, top 15 pick on a defensive back whose game is predicated on speed, quick twitch ability, athleticism. He didn't play all of last year because of the torn ACL. He couldn't do anything at the combine because he wasn't 100% ready. Now there are rumors coming out that he's got butt plugs in his other knee. Knee plugs in his knee. I can't do it. I can't. I've said it the entire time. I'm not doing it. If I'm wrong,
how is
I'm
it
wrong.
For the Dolphins, though? This is different. Schrager's acknowledging the concerns around the knee. At 30, especially to the Dolphins, a risk like this could pay off. Again, is it a risk that I would take given the way the board is right now? I'm not so sure, but I would say it's not like the James Pierce risk Atlanta took last year. It's much different than that. It's injury, right? And we know that a lot of people do like the talent, and there is potential there. And for a team that is going absolutely nowhere, I wouldn't say it's a terrible pick where he can kind of take his time, make sure he's healthy, and then when he hits the field, hopefully he's ready to go and plays well. And I think at that point he would be a value in the same way that if you draft Chris Bell, you're going to have to wait for him a little bit.
I'll tell you this.
Right?
I would take Chris Johnson out of San Diego State in round 1 before I take Jermon McCoy.
I know you would. And to be fair, he's like minus 200 to go in the first round. So I think that if you were looking corner here and you were a lot of NFL teams, they may go with Chris Johnson over Jamal McCoy if available.
31, your New England Patriots go Zion Young, edge rusher out of Missouri.
Yeah, Malachi Lawrence off the board. Zion Young's still there. It seems like he's probably not going to be a first rounder, but we'll see. And then we have a trade.
Yeah, we've got a
this
trade.
This has got to be the trade
Arizona
that we're
Cardinals
all expecting.
Jumping up with the Seattle Seahawks. They are moving up 2 spots. So Seattle moves back to 34, and they pick up 138, which is what, a 5th round pick?
Fifth rounder.
5th rounder.
Or 6th, yeah.
5th round pick. So Arizona takes Ty Simpson, quarterback out of Alabama.
Got to hop the Jets, right? Because the Jets have pick 33. And I think if you're the Cardinals, great trade. Costs you a super late day 3 pick to hop the Jets to get the quarterback that everyone says you want. I mean, the compensation is great. And if you're Seattle, it's like, well, at least you're getting another pick because they only have 4 in the mock draft or 4 in the draft right now. So even though it's a late pick, you're only moving back 2 spots. The Jets are probably not going to take the player you're targeting anyways. And the Arizona Cardinals get Ty Simpson. I think it's a great trade for both sides.
I feel for Dolphins fans on that one. I mean, you spent that money on Malik Willis. They did not think about what they didn't do. They didn't address receiver. They didn't even shock us and go tight end, right? Maybe you could even squint and be like, oh, maybe he'll be the Tyler Warren. They went Francis Maldonado, who's got back issues, and then they went Drummond McCoy, who's got knee plugs.
Yeah. I mean, but that's how I think
with 6 receivers off of the board already. So,
but do you think, though, even at 30, there was a receiver worth taking there? Because then you're getting, the Jeremy Bernard range, probably. And he's not a first-round receiver. So then you're asking Miami to trade up, and I don't think that's a smart move for them either.
They could have taken Lemon at 11.
They could have? Absolutely, they could have.
They could have. This is if I were that is scary to see that, because they're starting wide receivers right now: Jalen Tolbert, Tutu Atwell, and Malik Washington. Yeah. That's not going to get it done. But
this is a team we know is going nowhere, right? And this is the reason why when people ask us, well, what are your thoughts on Malik Willis? Could he be, a good quarterback? We just went through an entire mock draft where he got zero help on the worst receiving group in the entire NFL. And he's not the best quarterback to begin with.
No.
He's versatile, but he's very unique in his skill set and needs the right play callers, the right personnel to help elevate him that you had in Green Bay. You don't have that in Miami, and you're not doing anything through this mock draft to assist with that. And I think you would even admit a 2nd rounder, 3rd round receiver is not the type of upgrade we're looking for in Miami right now, because they're not going to make that much of a difference unless for some reason it's a Chris Bell, right, who comes back and you see it very late in the season. That's unlikely.
That's unlikely, right?
But I think he's the only one that you could say maybe late in the year, like you're not going to get excited early, but outside of that, I think it's a lot of hoping and wishing these guys are any good.
Let me see if Adam Schefter is tweeting anything out over the course of a couple that hour that we went through that. Seattle entering the draft. So an hour ago, they would like to trade back from 32 to get more draft picks. I'm looking at this on X. Schrager's talking about his thing. Mel's got a bonus mock draft. What is this? Bonus 26 mock from Mel Kiper. It's top 16 picks. We don't need that. There's Schrager's mock.
That was the one on first draft they did, yeah.
That was the one on first draft. Okay, let's look at Lance Zierlein, and we'll go a little quicker through this one because I just want to Q&A. Let's go through Lance Zierlein, NFL.com. We'll pull his mock up and see what he's got cooking for us in the draft and how this differs from Peter Schrager. So let's just take a look at it. Pull it up. We've got Zierlein's mock. I think I got to move us around a little bit real quick, Jay. Let's go like this, and we'll put me there, and we'll unlock this, and we'll see how these two kind of play off of one another. All right, check it out. All right, let's lock that up. Lock that up. No changes at the top. Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey, and Jeremiah Love. I mean, does this? Okay. If you were doing a mock today, is this enough to get you to change your Jeremiah Love to Tennessee pick, or would you still rock with that?
I would say no. I would still be looking at trade options first for number 3. But I think if I decided that I wasn't going to move the pick for for the Cardinals, then I would probably put Jeremiah Love in there. And I did want to update you because I didn't talk about it when we talked about the other one, is Bailey is now the favorite to go second overall over Arvell Reese.
We said it yesterday. We said this. Yeah. We've been saying you've been saying it the whole time, but not shocked there. Not shocked there. I'm a little shocked that he just copied whatchamacallits right here for Sonny Styles at Tennessee. It's another one. Styles at Tennessee. This is Lance Zierlein. This came out today. Lance Zierlein's got Sonny Styles at Tennessee as well. Tennessee could take Arvell Reese, but instead opts for his Ohio State teammate. Styles is versatile. Traits-based linebacker that new head coach Robert Saleh covets. Now let's just talk football for a minute, okay? All the reasons why they shouldn't take Jeremiah Love. Let's go through all the reasons why they shouldn't. Well,
the team's terrible.
Sure, team's terrible. You've got a back-to-back 1,000-yard rusher and Tony Pollard under contract. You've got Tajay Spears still under contract. I know they will have to figure something out after this year. And you're probably not a Jeremiah Love away from the division, but this is the same AFC South that I didn't see a single person saying Jacksonville was going to win the division last year. I didn't see a single person say Indianapolis was going to be good in the division last season.
Yeah.
Can Tennessee turn it around in a year? Maybe it's unlikely, but what are the chances Saleh's like, I want my Fred Warner? Like, that defense was made with Fred Warner. Having him in the middle, I want my Fred Warner at his defense.
I could see him saying that, absolutely. I mean, look at even when he was on the Jets, he had great defenses when he was coaching the Jets too. And their personnel was pretty good, and they definitely had stretches where they had a lot of good players, but they were consistently a pretty solid defense. I think he will be able to turn around Tennessee's defense. The question is can Daboll and this offense really get going without a more prolific running back that they could have gotten Love? Love's obviously off the board here now, but I don't hate the pick of Styles. I think Styles is a great pick for Tennessee. I've kind of said that in the last mock draft, so we'll see what keeps going on. Then we have Arvell Reese at 5?
We do not have Arvell Reese at 5. We've got Caleb Downs, which you just talked about in Schrager's mock. You think Downs would be the better pick at 5? You just pop off, Jay. You just said this. You have not seen this mock, have you?
No. I haven't looked at the mock, but
you said Downs makes more sense.
This makes more sense for what they have on the roster, right? Again, I don't think they'd go Delane at 5, but I think this allows you to get your defensive anchor, and then you could double tap defense and take another one. But I think, to your point, you could also take an offensive lineman at 10, right? If you're not sold on Tyson and Tate's already off the board, which you expect him to be at 10, then you could just take an offensive lineman rather than trying to figure it out and go another direction. I really like the pick here of Downs at 5. It's a little crazy, and I don't love taking a safety this high, but I think for the Giants, who don't need an edge rusher, it makes a lot of sense.
How much did Harbaugh love Kyle Hamilton? I'm
sure he loved him a lot.
Is that something that he's trying to? He's thinking, look, we got Abdul Carter up front. We've got Thibodeau's still there for now. We've got Brian Burns. Let's get somebody to patrol the secondary. Jay, we've got to trade.
Okay.
We've got to trade. The Cleveland Browns have traded out of the 6th spot. The Cleveland Browns have moved out of pick 6, and now picking are the Dallas Cowboys, picking 6th overall. And the Dallas Cowboys take Arvell Reese, linebacker, edge rusher, out of Ohio State.
Did he say what it cost you?
It does not say.
Did it cost you both? I guess we'll see if it costs you both.
It does not say. It does not say. I would be happy.
Hell yeah, you would.
I would be happy with this pick. Like, figure it out. There are a lot of Micah Parsons parallels and comparisons.
Here we go. First it was, Arvell Reese, not sure if he's an edge rusher or a linebacker, but once he goes to the Cowboys, there was some Micah Parsons comparisons, and I think it could work out really well. He could develop in this defensive scheme.
Come on, man. Stop trying to call me out.
Fits the 3-4 very well. Much better than the other pick did, that's for sure, in Malachi Lawrence.
Yeah, I would be happier with this right here. If we're moving up, move up to go get Reese, move up to get Styles, move up to get Downs. I'm not moving up for Delane. Mo Claiborne PTSD right here, okay? Yeah. I don't know what that comment. I would be very happy with this one. I would be very happy with this one. All right, Jay. Same player, same team, same fit. Carnell Tate goes to. I mean,
if he's there, he's going. If he's there, he's going there for sure.
That's a good pick.
So no real surprises there for
Your
Washington.
New Orleans Saints get your boy Jordan Tyson.
Oh, yeah.
Goes to the Saints. Jay Rich
Oh,
at 8.
yeah.
You like this for Tyler Shuck?
Of course. It's great for Tyler Shuck, great for Kellen Moore. We know they like Tyson a lot, so I wouldn't be surprised by this pick. Caleb Downs off the board, right? So that's another factor there that we talked about with the last mock draft. Tyson would be a good pick. Now we got the Chiefs at 9, Giants at 10. Curious where both those teams
Chiefs go Mansour Delane, cornerback out of LSU at 9.
Okay. Get the top corner off the board.
And the New York Giants go offensive line with Francis Mauigoa at 10. So Downs and Mauigoa.
I think that's just as good as going with Reese and Tyson. Especially because you're getting two positions you could actually utilize
I like this for
and
New
start
York.
right away.
Do
you like this better?
And if you're the Giants, you've got your left tackle in Andrew Thomas, so Francis doesn't have to play there. You've got your right tackle for this year with Jermaine Illuminor coming back. They got him re-signed in free agency. A lot of people think Francis could be a better guard, so now you kick him right into guard. You kick him in the guard, and then whatever happens with Illuminor, you might be able to put him at right tackle next season. I think this is the unsexy pick that helps the Giants. You got Downs,
Absolutely.
and then you may have a cornerstone offensive lineman for the foreseeable future. I like this a lot, Jay. I like this a lot. At 11, the Miami Dolphins. They do not address wide receiver again, but they get Reuben Bain.
Which is fine, right? I think if they're going to pass on tackle and receiver, at least get Reuben Bain. So at 12, I imagine the Cleveland Browns are now up. Who do they take here?
I mean, if I were a Browns fan, it'd be air horns. Because we move back and we get the same cat that we probably would have taken at 6. They get Spencer Fano at 12.
Then.
I mean.
Okay. Yeah, that's more than fine, right? Delane's off the board, Mauigoa's off the board. You still get Fano, who Schrager had at 6 anyways. So
had at 6. And here's my pick. I'm telling you, when I do my final mock, I think this is the pick for the Rams. I know everybody is praying it's Mekhi Lemon. I think it's Monroe Freeling, and that is who Lance Zierlein has right here. I'm going to project a tackle to the Rams. I don't think their offense is a problem. You've got Puka Nacua, Kyron Williams, and Devontae Adams. And then a litany of tight ends that are serviceable, from Davis Allen to Colby Parkinson, Tyler Higbee's back, and you got Terrence Ferguson. The one thing the Rams cannot allow to happen is Matthew Stafford to get touched up. You need him throwing another 40 touchdowns this year. You draft your future bookend tackle of the future. You make Matthew Stafford happy. I am 1,000% mocking a tackle to the Rams. I do not believe it's going to be Mekhi Lemon. And at 14, Jay, you get one guess. 14, one guess.
Vangaione.
Vangaione. There it is right there. Yeah, Baltimore goes. I think this is a top 10 player. If Mauigoa, the plan is to put Mauigoa at guard, I would rather just take Vanga right here. Like I would.
Yeah.
If that's the plan, unless the plan is I want him to play, because Vanga's going to play guard. That's his position. Maybe Francis can play on the outside. But if that's the play, is to find the guard, I would take Vanga. I would take him over Francis if that's the play.
The best by a mile.
Yes.
In this mock.
All right, 15. Jay Rich hates this pick. Doesn't understand why they would go Kenyon Sadiq, but that's what they do. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers go Kenyon Sadiq at 15.
Ray, question for you. When was the last time you saw the Buccaneers make a good selection in a mock draft?
I don't know, man.
It's been a while, right? Like,
I don't know.
You give them Kenyon Sadiq, you give them Akeem Mesidor, and you're
it's
okay,
Sadiq,
like,
it's Mesidor, it's McCoy.
But like,
it's those three are the only picks that people make for Tampa Bay. Mesidor,
they're like
Sadiq.
all just not great options, but it's what they need, I guess. So let's go to 16.
And then the analysis. Here's the hard-hitting analysis. Tampa Bay could go edge rusher in this spot. Instead, I have the Bucs grabbing this year's tight end 1. Sadiq gives Baker a unique weapon to exploit.
Because he needs more of those.
Thank you, Lance Zierlein. 16, the Jets go Mekhi Lemon.
Okay. Mekhi Lemon on the board at 16 again. Jets take Mekhi Lemon.
Let's just be
What are your
lazy.
thoughts on Mekhi Lemon not being mocked in the top 15 for both these mock drafts now, slipping to 16 to the Jets?
Because he's a slot receiver. He's been a slot receiver the whole time. So I think this is appropriate.
Oh, look
spot
at
for
that,
him.
Ray. His comp, Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yeah, like, and I've been 10 toes down since the beginning. He's not Amon-Ra St. Brown. People got to stop that shit. He's light skinned. He played at USC and he plays in the slot. That's about all the similarities in body size. He's not Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's a good player, but he's not Amon-Ra. Garrett Wilson would be the unquestioned one in this offense. Unquestioned. 17, the Lions get the same player that they had to trade up for in Schrager's mock. And this is why I don't want to do trades, because it just feels like you're forcing something, because the chances that Caden Proctor is available at 17 are pretty high. Like, I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you have to trade up to 13 to get Caden Proctor?
I think his over-under is like 18 or 19 and a half, and it's juiced to the under.
Yeah.
So people expect him to go in the top.
And if you're Lions fans, and if you're like, we're going to take Proctor, you're probably like, do it at 17. Don't trade a third-round pick to move up.
I think to your point,
whatever.
Whether it's Proctor, Freeling, Ahanachor, like someone who you could utilize is going to be there for you. So why waste draft capital to move up? And again, unless you really, really like a guy, but it feels like there's going to be options for them no matter what.
And I'm going to say what you want about how they move. I think my deployment play style, and I've said this from day one, the way that I think Mekhi Lemon will be used in the type of NFL outlook, I think it's like Robert Woods. I think he needs to be that move slot receiver. People don't like it. Robert Woods had 2 1,100-yard seasons in his career. If you tell me I'm going to get 2,000-plus yard seasons out of Lemon, I think that'd be a home run. I don't think he is a guy that you're going to build an offense around from the slot like Amon-Ra. To be a predominant slot wide receiver and then build an offense around you, you have to be really good. Remember when the Steelers thought they could do that with Juju Smith-Schuster without Antonio Brown, and it did not work out? Rashee Rice can do it out of the slot. Amon-Ra can do it out of the slot. How many other Keenan Allen was able to do it out of the slot primarily? There aren't a lot of receivers.
He was like 6'1", 215, right? Like he's
there are not a lot
really
of those
big
guys that you can build around just when you're playing in that role. I don't think he's Amon-Ra. 18, who does Minnesota take? Easy pick.
Dalen Thieneman.
Dalen Thieneman goes to Minnesota. Carolina at 19. They go Casey Concept. This Carolina needing a receiver thing is...
So they didn't have to... It's crazy that in this mock, they just stayed pat and they just... So who's... is that the Browns pick at 20 that you're looking at?
No, Dallas. I just saw Dallas's pick.
Dallas still has it. So this is fraudulent mock. Didn't even have to trade 20 to go and get number 6.
Yeah, you think that's pretty... That's not going to happen. Yeah,
Mesidor's available, right?
Mesidor is available. They do not go Mesidor. They do... Okay. They do something that Dallas typically does with these type of players. So
this is Jermod McCoy.
This is Jermod McCoy. This is 100% Jermod McCoy. If they're injured, they're on Dallas's board. Jermod McCoy at 20. Better than at 12.
That's your consolation. Better than at 12. Still not worth it at 20, but better than at 12.
Better than at 12. I don't know how Cleveland gets here, but I guess they trade with Pittsburgh in division. Okay. Now we're starting to get a little silly, right? We're getting a little silly. But the Browns jump up and they take Denzel Boston at 21. So who do they take at they got Fano at 12
and then got 12. The Cowboys
12. Pick. And then Boston at 21.
They trade up at 21. That's fine.
Yeah,
I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now people are saying full circle back to McCoy. Let me be clear so people don't call me a hypocrite again. I still would not take him in round 1. Better at 20 than at 6 or 12. Better there than I wouldn't do it personally. I've actually come around to Mesidor or Keldrick Falk. I'm like, just get one. Falk's like 19 years old.
At least it's an edge, right?
Right, it's an edge.
Falk is very young.
The Chargers, they go Akeem Mesidor at 22. So the Chargers go Akeem Mesidor at 22. The Philadelphia Eagles go tackle again, but it's not Max Ahanachor, it's Caleb Lomu. They get Caleb Lomu out of Utah at 23. Keldrick Falk goes to Pittsburgh at 24. So you got Keldrick Falk going to Pittsburgh at 24.
That,
I kind of like that.
Edge for them. right? Like to kind of work with him a little bit, develop him over time. Doesn't need to be the starter right away. Won't be a ton of pressure on him to be the guy out the gate. Probably prefer O-line considering Rodgers, but Falk is an interesting pick there for the Steelers down the road.
All right, 25. The Bears go Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. This is
good pick.
I like this. The Cardinals, they trade up. The Arizona Cardinals are trading up, Jay. Who are they taking?
It's got to be for Ty Simpson, right?
It is for Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson.
Okay.
There you go. It is not Ty Simpson. It is Blake Miller, tackle out of Clemson. So no Ty Simpson. Jay Rich.
There we go, Lance. I like that.
27. The San Francisco 49ers are on the clock.
Max Honachor.
They do not go tackle, Jay. They go wide receiver Omar Cooper Jr.
I forgot Cooper was still available.
He's still available.
Wow.
Goodbye, Ricky
like
Pearsall. There it is.
Did we put Cooper there in our mock?
We've put him in.
We had him late. But I don't know if it was San Francisco or not.
In our wake up mock, I'm not sure if we had Coop going to the Niners.
We had him like late first, like kind of like this. But
all right,
I like the spot a lot.
Jay, we've got a trade. The Jets are on the clock. The Jets are on the clock. The Jets are on the clock. Jay Rich, where are they going?
Give me Ty, baby. Give me Ty.
The New York Jets at pick 28 select cornerback Colton Hood out of Tennessee. They go Colton Hood. No Ty Simpson. We're getting wild. We're getting fun now. No Ty Simpson. The Jets opt to replace Sauce Gardner with Colton Hood.
Probably a good idea. Colton Hood,
Probably
fine pick
a good
there at
idea.
28.
All right. The Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock at 29. What did they do earlier in the draft? What did KC do? Who did they take?
Oh, Delane.
They took Mansour Delane at 9.
Pretty sure Mansour
They're going
Delane,
defense again. Edge rusher, Jay Rich. Malachi Lawrence to Kansas City at 29.
Lawrence again. See?
Good pick for them.
That's back-to-back drafts.
Better pick for them at 29 than Dallas. They already got Edge, so he could just come in and rush the passer. They've got Karlaftis.
Yeah.
They've got Chris Jones at D tackle. He can just come in, and it's actually a really good pick by Kansas City. I kind of like it. Miami Dolphins fans, last mock, they took Jermon McCoy at 30. This mock, they take the cornerback that I say I would rather have over Jermon McCoy. And had Dallas made this pick at 20, I'd be even happier. But they go to San Diego State and take Chris Johnson, cornerback, to patrol their secondary. I love it. Love this.
Yeah,
I would be very happy. Even if some consider it a reach at 20, I'd rather Chris Johnson at 20 over Jermon McCoy. There you go. Your New England Patriots are on the clock, Jay. Oh, boy. Mr. Richards. This is...
Don't give me another short-armed player.
This was a top 5 projected pick in August. Top 5.
Peter Woods.
They take defensive tackle Peter Woods out of Clemson.
A good pick.
Peter Woods.
I kind of prefer the edge, but I will settle for Peter Woods.
We're getting fun now at the end of this mock, Jay Rich. And with the final pick, the Seattle Seahawks.
I like
final
that.
pick, Seattle Seahawks. Fantasy football would be happy about this one. Fantasy football.
Jadarian Price.
The Seattle Seahawks with the 32nd pick in the 2026 NFL Draft select Notre Dame running back Jadarian Price. Jay Rich.
Would this be the worst selection in the draft if it actually happened? Seattle, honestly, Seattle has had some of the best drafts in the last 3 or 4 years. This could easily be the worst pick they made in like the last 5 years. If this actually happened. It just doesn't make any sense to me why they would take a running back. They need a running back, yes, but to take one in the first would be ridiculous.
I am a big fan of Jadarian Price. Big fan of his game. Wasn't a big fan of the measurables at the combine, and I know the game is not played on a spreadsheet. Wasn't the biggest fan of the measurables. And I honestly, Jay, I don't just, if we're just talking ball, Kevin said it's a stupid pick. He just said Price at 32 is stupid. I don't know how much better he is than Jonah Coleman, who I think is a much more NFL-equipped runner. Jonah Coleman catches passes better. We don't know how fast or athletic he is.
Right? had more success in college than Price did to some extent.
I've seen him be a featured back. He was good at Arizona. He was good at Washington. Yeah, man. I probably don't. If I'm Seattle, you know who they could have taken? Avion Terrell, who's still there.
Yep.
Avion Terrell is still there.
You know I'm all in.
You've got Cassius Howell. I don't know if they even need edge, but Cassius Howell is available at
the
this
SEC in
point.
sacks. Wasn't a backup running back on his college team.
Yeah. And Kevin said 0 receiving profile. That's the big thing with Price, because you would think you would think that his skill set and his calling card, because he was so good at returns, is being a dynamic kind of space creating satellite back plus, but that really isn't Price's game. So I kind of, do they have a running back outside of Sharps? It's Emmanuel Wilson, Zach Charbonnet, and George Halani. So the answer is no. But in this draft class, let me ask you this, Jay. Jadarian Price at 32 or Jonah Coleman in round 3, round 4?
Honestly, Jonah Coleman in any round versus even if their next pick, right, at 64, if they have 64, I'm not sure if they do or not. But it's such a reach already just to take him in the first round, and then to think that you're not getting him at, back of the second or early third, where some of these other guys might go. And honestly, Ray, there's plenty of running backs they could draft in the 4th or 5th that, sure, are they the best running backs ever? No, but running back is already a non-premium position. And for a team with no draft picks, you do not pull a Chiefs, let's say, and draft a not so talented running back in the first round that you don't need, right? The Seahawks have done a great job of making selections, and a luxury pick like that would be a terrible use of the resources that they have.
I'm looking at just some NFL draft news and notes right now. There is Adam Schefter is on ESPN talking about the Dallas Cowboys, and they're saying, in quotes, they're nowhere with George Pickens right now. In capital letters, nowhere. Does this make it more likely that Dallas does go with a wide receiver? And there's a lot of smoke about Jordan Tyson to Dallas.
You know what? Underhill's live right now. Final Saints draft predictions: Tyson, defense, or trade up.
What does that have to do with
Dallas?
That tells
you because Tyson's not going to be available.
You don't think Tyson will be available?
Not at 12. It doesn't seem like they're trading up for receiver, right? But maybe he will. You could, you know what, Ray? Mekhi Lemon may be available for you at 12.
I'm searching the news to see if there's anything left. We got Schrager, Schefter. What else is out there, y'all? What else? Is there anything else out there, Jay?
Not that I've seen, no. I haven't seen a whole lot in terms of news breaking this morning. A lot of people are still speculating on Bailey or Reese at 2, right? What do the Cardinals do? Is there options to trade out? I mean, we've heard, feels like 4 or 5 teams potentially trading out. But I think that if they did want to make a move when it comes to George Pickens and drafting a receiver, even in this draft, I just don't know if a non-trade up can secure you a player you're happy with. Because if you're making a move like that, it's probably for Tate or Tyson. Ideally, if you're Dallas, it's Tate, which means you've got to trade up probably to at least 6, and you probably got to draft Tate with that pick.
Jordan said, leading this mock with, in quotes, Seattle wants to move back, and to stick and pick at 32 for Price in this mock is quite stupid. Seattle's not that dumb. I think you get to the end of the draft and people are just, let me throw a fun one in there. Pickens to Philly. No way. Get the hell out of here.
I mean, they wouldn't trade Micah to Philly, so I don't think they're trading Pickens to
Okay,
Philly
here's
either.
one from Luke. Pickens in 20 to the Titans for 4 and a late round pick. If I'm Dallas, I would absolutely do that.
20.
If I'm Dallas, I would move up to 4.
Who are you taking at 4?
Styles.
And
then you take your receiver at 12.
Yeah, but then it's Lemon. The way that we project the draft to go, it's Lemon. You'd almost would need a double trade up.
They're not going to
trade up to 4.
I've already wrapped my.
6.
Dallas isn't going to pay George Pickens. They just.
I think they will have to.
They don't. That's the thing.
To.
They don't have to. They could tag him 2 more years. They could tag. Well, they've already tagged him. They could tag him again next year. They're not going. I don't think they're going to pay him.
If you want a resolution, That doesn't involve him sitting out 8 games, because he's going to sit out 8 games if he walks into the season with the tag.
No, he won't. No, he won't. No, he won't. No,
you don't think so, eh?
When has that ever worked out for the player? The last player that I remember sitting out and that thing going catastrophically wrong for him was Melvin Gordon, and he even said, "I wouldn't do that again." He said, "I wish I would not." I'm not saying it ruined Melvin Gordon's career.
But he's a running back too, right? That was part of the issue. Is like I think at the time he was probably like 26 or 27.
I don't think he was that old, because he was.
Was he early declare? Was he a 21-year-old prospect?
I don't think he was
first
26,
round,
27.
5 years, would have been at least 26, right? Unless he was really young come draft day.
I don't think he was that old, but neither here nor there.
We'll see.
Jerry's not paying him, man. Jerry's not paying him. I don't think Jerry's going to pay him.
Because the other side of it is if Pickens wants to ride with his agent in David Mulugheta, who Jerry screwed over last year.
That's the problem.
There could be some pettiness that plays a role here. And Mulugheta's already said, Pickens is not reporting to camp at all. He's not stepping on the field at all. And again, like you said, picket lines can move, things can change, but I think because of the Micah situation, there could be an even firmer stance with Dallas when it comes to Pickens, which is unfortunate for them.
All right, I'm looking through any more news. Who else is out there? Who's some of our draft intel guys? Let's go to... We already looked at Schefter. Let's go Daniel Jeremiah. Let's see if he said anything, Jay, over the past couple of days.
I think he's dropping his final mock tonight.
He's dropping his tonight?
I believe his is dropping tonight. It's either his final big board
7
or his final
Eastern.
mock.
7 p.m. Eastern. 7 p.m. Eastern.
So we can review that tomorrow on the show. So
on the show.
Fun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, nothing there. This draft is deep at edge, wide receiver, O-line. However, the RB pool is incredibly shallow. Yeah, who didn't know that? Let me go to the comments real quick. Pickens will stab Jerry if they tag him twice. Yeah, Mulugheta reps Pickens. I mean, it's just Jerry's already come out to say he does not care for David, and David probably doesn't care for Jerry. So
it's very mutual, which is so tough because he's like, what did you say? Probably is a top 5 agent in the NFL right now. At least it seems like it.
Him, Nicole Lynn.
And,
I don't know.
Rosenhaus is the other huge one.
Is Drew still up there? I know Drew's getting a little old. Is Drew still?
I'd imagine he's still got a deep client
Who
base,
represents
right?
Dan Orlovsky? CAA, whatever it is, the CIA, whoever it is, they got to be up there as well. But this seems like it's one that's going to be trending to be a battle. Listen, tomorrow, round 1, NFL draft. Right here on the channel. We'll get live at, 8 Eastern, 7 my time? Probably a little before that. But me, Jay Rich, our fantasy football crew, Scott, Shane, Brandon, Ty DeClaire, will all be on talking through all the picks, recapping the NFL draft, doing all that fun stuff. So make sure you pull up with us. We're going to have a good time recapping everything 2026 NFL draft tomorrow night. But before the night, Jay Rich and I will be up tomorrow morning. Wake Up with Ray and Jay Rich over on the Wake Up channel. You can find that Wake Up with Ray and Jay. You can find that, or is it GMGP? Wake Up GMGP on YouTube if you type that @ in there. See, anything else? Would you do Pickens and 12 for 4 in a late round pick, or would you only do Pickens and 20? Yeah, I'm not doing Pickens and 12. There's no way I would send Pickens and 12 for 4. Nah.
Yeah.
Pickens and 20, sure. Pickens and 12, no. Ty Simpson, same agent as Dan Orlovsky. Yep, that is true.
Well, yeah.
Orlovsky. All right, Jay, hit the music,
you see
man.
what the New York Post put out today?
What'd they put out?
It was Coach Vrabel and Diana Rossini, and the caption just says, illegal use of hands.
I saw a picture of Vrabel's sweet, poor wife, Jen Vrabel. I did see they're getting the families involved, Jay Rich. It's a wild time out there.
It's unfortunate for them. Man.
All right. Well, y'all, the draft is tomorrow. We've made it through. Jay, any final thoughts on what you think we're going to get tomorrow night? Chaos or not so much?
I kind of think we'll be disappointed on the chaos, personally. There's been a lot of conversation about all these trades and teams manipulating the draft board, moving up and down. We'll see. I think much like you've talked about, Arizona wants heaven and earth to move that pick, and they may just take Jeremiah Love. and be happy with that. Right? So we'll see. But I hope we get some chaos. Chaos is always fun for the draft stream, so make sure you tap in. We always react to all that stuff, and it's a lot of fun. So hope to see everyone who's in the stream today there, everyone who listens after the fact. But yeah, I think it may be a little bit lackluster. There's just too much hype around the movement in this draft for me to kind of buy into it just yet.
All right. We will talk more about it tomorrow. We'll be streaming tomorrow morning, tomorrow evening, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all of next week. Big, big, big stuff. Ray G and Jay Rich, best in the game, baby. We appreciate you, Dan. Appreciate you, Dan.
Thank you.
Pull up tomorrow morning. Subscribe to the channel. Turn the notifications on, and we will see you back here for the draft tomorrow. One more time. The draft chime. It's that time. Let's get it. And next year, Jay, 2027. We'll start looking ahead once the draft closes, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun process through it. But let's get through this bad boy. We'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow. Peace.